want to thank you all so much for coming. Remember, we're in a webinar mode right now, so you can't see each other, but afterwards, we may switch, and I think during the Q&A, I could be wrong. I'm just making stuff up because I know nothing about technology. So we just want to welcome you all so much. Thank you for joining us. We have a nice group gathered. There's great folks from all around the regions here to find out what the beautiful art looks like for the live auction in a week and 2 days. I want to remind you all, if you could stay muted so we can make sure everybody hears the same information that we're presenting together. And then later we will have a brief Q&A where you can ask Tammy Jo, myself, and any of the CAP development staff about questions you may have about the upcoming event or the art that you're about to see, or just anything in general. You can unmute and ask your questions, or you can drop them in the chat too. Either way, we're so excited to have you all. Remember to grab your cocktail or your beverage of choice. I should just assume cocktail. But I'm drinking out of a red Solo cup because that's what we do in the ballrooms. We didn't have no fancy glassware. It's just a red Solo cup, and you don't know what's in there. You don't need to know what's in there. It's not your business. Okay, everybody knows me. It's vodka soda. Yes, pop into the chat and say hi. Let us know who you're there, who's here, what's going on. We can't see each other right now because of the way the thing is set up, but you can pop into the chat and say hi and tell everybody how cute I look with my little leopard. So fun to not wear a wig, actually. I feel so cool. And isn't it funny how hats seem so much bigger until you put them on? Anyway, so thank you all so much for coming. I want to give you just a little bit of the overview of what's going to happen. We are just a little over a week away from the CAP Our House Art Auction and After Party on April 9th, and I hope you're all coming. You don't want to miss. I'm going to be the mistress of ceremonies. Hello. I have no idea what I'm going to wear, by the way. It is such a fabulous thing. This is the first time we'll be coming together in 3 years for this fabulous historic event. Can you believe it? We've just all been doing this Zoom stuff. It's time to take off our pajamas and put on our fun party wear, everybody. Now, if somebody comes in their pajamas, I don't know what I'm going to do next week. So for those of you who don't know, the art auction actually began 34 years ago in the height of the AIDS epidemic and was first launched by a local group of artists wanting to make a difference. It's now one of the largest art auctions in the region, auctioning off over 150 pieces of art each year. And all the proceeds, of course, go to support the programs and services that Cascade AIDS Project and Our House provides. Tonight, we're here to meet this year's art auction curator, get a sneak peek at the Curator's Choice art selection, and hear about why it was chosen to be featured. Help me welcome our super duper extra special guest, Tammy Jo Wilson, who is co-founder and president of the arts organization Art in Oregon, a statewide visual arts nonprofit working to foster culturally rich regional communities through partnership, advocacy, and investment in artists, businesses, educational spaces, and community spaces, and this year's curator for the CAP in Our House Art Auction. I want to also give a huge shout out to our art auction co-chairs, Carol, oops, that's my sister and I messed it up, Carol Collymore and Robin Castro. Of course, my partner in crime, auctioneer Jonna Wells, and my co-host for the at-home experience, Dale Johannes, and of course, Tammy Jo, for all of their hard work on this program. Hi, Tammy Jo. Let's dig into some questions. I want to know a little bit more about you. We've only recently met, and I'm already practically addicted to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We're happy to have you. Thank you so much. Now, listen, before I go into, I just wanted to know, are you a Portland person? You live in Portland?
I do. I've been in Portland for, I don't know, a really long time, over 20 years. I've lived in Oregon longer than I've lived anywhere else. So I kind of feel like I'm a local at this point. But yeah, I reside actually down in Oregon City, which I love, as a little town just on the edge of Portland.
Oh my gosh, you are fabulous. I love it. I should have known you was down there in Oregon City, just causing all kinds of trouble. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your involvement in the art community.
Sure. Well, I am a visual artist, a painter and photographer, as well as an arts curator and an arts organizer. So I've been an artist for, I don't know, my entire adult life, I guess I would say. I was an alumni of our local art school, Pacific Northwest College of Art. So many of the artists in the Portland area came and got their start at that amazing school. I'm currently curating the exhibit Black Matter, which is featuring all Oregon-based Black artists. So if you're in town, that's up at the Souvenir Gallery. And I'm so happy to be part of this CAP project and support this auction and all the artists that have donated their beautiful work and their time for this.
Oh, thank you so much. That's fantastic. And thanks for the shout out. I want to go check out the one at the Souvenir. Why do you think it's important that people support the many programs of CAP?
CAP has been doing really amazing work for decades, and I think it's so important to remember to reach out and support people directly here in our community. It can feel really overwhelming with everything that's happening globally to just get lost in all of it. And to be able to support CAP and make a difference with people that are our friends and our neighbors and our community members here in Oregon and Southwest Washington, to help their lives be a little bit better, a little bit safer. To me, it's just a really moving and important thing to do. And also all of the artists, you know, we're helping to show the artists that we appreciate them and their work and supporting the art community.
Absolutely. All right, Tammy Jo, what excites you most about curating the art for this year's art auction?
I think just seeing the breadth of work that was donated was really amazing, and all of the pieces and getting to see them in person and all of the beautiful work. It was just amazing to just see it all to come together. It was really, really, really fun, and I feel really lucky to be able to be a part of it.
Well, we're lucky to have you on board, so thank you so much.
Yeah.
What is the process of selecting art for the art auction? Everyone asks that every year, so I'm glad we're getting it out there now.
Yes, yeah, that's a great question. I'm sure a lot of people are super curious of like, how does that happen? So they get so many donations for the auction that we get the opportunity. This year we had 6 jurors, myself included, that all came together in person, which was pretty cool. And we get to see each one of the artworks in person close up. And so CAP has a great group of staff and volunteers that take all of the art pieces and handle them with great care, and they have all their gloves on. And I was really impressed with the care they took with the artwork. And they bring it out, and the group of us 6 jurors look at the pieces, we can ask questions, we can really see it up close, and then make notes. And it was just really enjoyable to be able to see it in person. And we didn't have to do through our computer or guests, or like, I don't know, you know, we got to really be up there and see the work. And make selections that way. So it was a really great process. And also all the jurors were a little bit different, you know, and so we all had different likes and dislikes and opinions and things that we favored. And so I think it helps make for a really great selection of work.
That's so cool. And I like that you are talking about getting to see it up close and personal and not just flipping through, you know, on your screen. I heard something about like a blind jury selection. What does that mean? Explain that if you can.
Yeah, so we weren't focused on the names of the artwork, more just the artwork itself. And so it's not about necessarily picking our, you know, the name, but really look at the quality of the work itself and allowing that work to really stand out.
That's so cool. So you had no idea which gallery represented it, which artist made it. You just got to see it. That's so cool. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Super fair. Okay, so Tammy Jo, thanks for letting me just grill you a little bit. Next, I'm going to give you a quick overview, all of our folks, of the flow of bidding for this year's art. First things first, we have over, oh my gosh, I think this has to be a record, over 170 pieces, 170, you heard it, my friends, of spectacular art for you to bid on from the silent auction from April 1st, which, hello, is tomorrow. So from April 1st all the way to the actual event day, April 9th, and you can do it online. That's right. Anyone from anywhere can bid on art this year. In order to bid, you must create a Greater Giving account. It's super easy, it's painless, and it doesn't cost anything until you buy some fabulous art, which you know you want to. You can find a link to register on the art auction website, capartauction.org. So yes, starting tomorrow, you'll be able to go online and see the entire gallery of 170 pieces that are going to be in the silent auction, and you can start bidding. So then we'll bid all the way through the 9th, the day of the event, And then, those that are coming to the actual event, the first hour and a half or so is a cocktail hour with the silent auction. You can see the artwork in person. You can continue your bidding. And then it actually continues after the live auction dinner, and we'll have the after party, and people have an opportunity to bid too. So if you want to see what's going on, make that Greater Giving account and start looking at the art tomorrow. Kind of check it out, see what you want to get going on. Even if you don't start your bidding tomorrow, although I suggest you do, you can still just kind of check it out and see what the art is. And the art that is in the gallery tomorrow is not what we're seeing tonight here. What we're seeing tonight here is the actual live auction during the dinner artwork. So if you're unable to, the curated items that we're about to learn so much about, thanks again, Tammy Jo, will be featured in the live auction in person. So if you're unable to attend the in-person event, but you want to bid on some of this Curator's Choices pieces we're showing you right now, if you can't be at the dinner, we have, for the first time ever, a proxy bidding opportunity. When you see on the movies and the TV shows, the person that's on the phone bidding, everybody's like, who's that? They're just saying up, up, up on the phone. That could be you. We will have a staff member, a volunteer assigned to you on the phone. Well, not really on the phone. You will plan it ahead of time. You give us the total, maximum amount that you like to spend in the donation to Cascade Project for a specific piece of art, and you'll be in the bidding. It's actually super fun and really exciting. So you just want to send an email to events@capnorthwest.org, which is events@capnw.org. It's in the chat there. I just think that's so fun. We've never done that before. This is going to be really exciting. So, Tammy Jo, the Curator's Choice selections. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Out of 170 pieces to be in the art auction, our incredible curator, Tammy Jo Wilson, hand-selected 16 pieces to be highlighted in the Curator's Choice.
It wasn't easy, let me tell you. It was not easy.
I bet not. I'd have been going through a couple bottles of wine. All right. The first piece is entitled Blood Circle 9 by Jennifer Jaco. Yes, the world famous Newsweek cover girl, Jennifer Jaco, a Portland hero. We just love Jennifer. Hey, Tammy, tell us a little bit about this fabulous piece.
Yeah, when I first saw this piece in person, the vibrancy of this blue it was really moving. And then also just with the conceptual part of what the piece is, felt so important to include it in the show. The piece is actually an image of dried blood, and then the artist did a color shift. So they switched it from red to blue, and it's magnified, and it just turns it into this really beautiful piece that creates this really positive feeling, and it is so well presented and well framed. I think it's a really moving piece to include in the auction. Just loved it.
I love it. It's so unique and something we've never seen before. This next piece is entitled Conflux WS number 15 by Yoshishiro Katai.
Yeah, this piece, so this is a Japanese-born artist. And he, with this piece, is combining like a Western style abstraction, and then he uses a Japanese style of metal leafing. So if you see this piece in person, you got to see it in person. It has this silver metallic finish in it that you just can't quite see in the computer image, but it is something else and really beautiful to see in person. And to me, it just brings such warm, sunny day feelings and openness. And it's just a beautiful piece.
That's fantastic. And we all need that sunny disposition and openness. Yeah. And I confess, I mispronounced. It's Yoshishiro. I added an S. I apologize. And this next piece is entitled The Rupture Lakeside by Kendra Larson, who is represented by Ogden Gallery.
I do love Kendra's work. Kendra's a really well-known Portland artist. She actually does an arts podcast as well as being a painter called Art Gab. So you should all check out Kendra Larson's podcast, Art Gab. This piece by Kendra, one of her newer works, is referencing fireworks and the use of fireworks in her work. And she was thinking a little bit about fireworks and then what happens with that in relation to wildfires in the environment. But for me, when I saw this piece, to me, it really reminds me of a warm summer night and that feeling of being outside and the energy. But then it also has that other deeper layer conceptually, thinking about the environment.
Fantastic. And I just saw in the chat that Kendra's here. Hey,
Hi,
girl.
Kendra.
Thanks for your generous donation of this beautiful piece. It is fantastic. I'm so excited. And this is, well, I got to see the pieces in this same slideshow earlier this week. I cannot wait for next Saturday to see them in person. And I'll try not to drool too much. The next piece is entitled Looking for You by Bethany Rowland, who is represented by Imogen Gallery.
So this piece, I remember when I first saw it, it has this softness to it, but the bird just kind of looks right into your soul in this really deep and moving way, which I know was part of the goal of the artist, but to have this really soft, it almost reminds me of the Oregon rain and the fog that we get sometimes, but then also the beautiful birds that we get here. And it's just a really, I think it's a little bit of a unique piece too within the group. So it's definitely one worth checking out.
Yes, and as I mentioned to you the other day, I didn't see a bird, and that's what I love about art in general, and especially the beautiful pieces we always include in the art auction, is that it means something different to everybody, and everybody sees something and feels something and gets something different. First, I thought it was a beautiful, dark, rainy, stormy night in the Pacific Northwest, and then when you mentioned it was an animal, and I thought, oh, of course, silly poison waters, that's a seal. And then when you said a bird, I'm like, oh, I can see it now. So it's just what, it is whatever. All of them brought up joy to me. So
Yeah.
whatever you see, yes, buy it, buy it, buy it. Okay, next up we have Valley. This one's Valley by Christine Bardette, who is represented by our friends at Elizabeth Leach Gallery.
Yeah, this is a beautiful little piece. This artist also does sculptures and drawings and installation and all types of other work. But this is a good example of one of her drawings done with graphite and watercolor on paper. I really love the softness of this work and the way it makes me feel like a sense of being held and cradled, which I think to be able to bring artwork into your life and into your home that really give you those warm, soft feelings can be really, really a beautiful thing.
I love that. And, I have to say, so 28 by 35, to me, that's pretty substantial. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a good sized piece. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's almost 3 feet wide.
Whoa, I love it. I love it. Okay, next we have a piece entitled Femme Acrobat by Pablo Picasso, printed by M. Marcel Salinas and commissioned by Marina Picasso.
I'm so excited this piece got donated to the auction. Somebody's going to have a chance to bring home a little piece of art history. And I think it's fun to know that this was actually commissioned by the artist's granddaughter. So that's pretty fun to just think of the granddaughter saying, hey, do me a drawing. And then he makes this female figure that's really bending in a playful way that I think is really joyous and fun.
Also another sizable piece, 30 by 22,
yeah.
And it's donated by our wonderful friends Gary Maffei and Marcus Lintner. Thank you so much, gentlemen. That is so generous of you. The next piece is entitled Daniel the First by Stephen O'Donnell.
And this one, so this artist does so many really colorful, elaborate paintings with kings and queens and nudes and people not dressed and people very overdressed and elaborate. And this is a really unique piece by him with the pose, the mythical pose of pulling on a bow. And his work is just so detailed, oriented, and very precise and beautifully rendered. A really great example of his work.
Yes, I think it's quite beautiful, and this is going to be a very popular piece on the 9th. I have every faith. This next piece, everyone, is entitled Flower Composition 17 by Freda M.M. Cravens, represented by Portland Art Museum Rental Sales Gallery. This is a photograph.
Yeah, and this one I picked as my favorite out of all of them. I don't know if favorite is the best word, but it was my choice. If I had to pick one out of all of the ones we picked and then pick one further out of that. And one of the reasons I picked it is because when this photograph first came out, when we were juring, and I just felt like there was a collective gasp of like, oh my gosh, the beauty that is captured within this piece. It's really, really large. So it's 50 by 40 inches. And to see these magnificent flowers rendered in such precise detail and so large and beautiful, and the way they are set with the black behind them and the white flowers, it really reminded me of the moonlight as well as flowers at the same time. And it just had this beauty to it that was really impressive.
I can't wait to see this one for real. And I love that it's gigantic. It's going to make me look so petite when I just kind of sidle up next to it.
Yeah. And
Okay,
when you
the
bring
next
art
piece.
into your home, something like this, when you bring
Yes.
it into your home, you want beauty in your life.
Yes, we all need beauty in our life, and I think that one's it. And so Best in Show, perfect choice there. Okay, the next piece is from a very supportive artist who always donates to Cascade Age Project, and this is Kevin Kadar's Figure Painting 1301.
I think if I was going to buy a piece, if I were to buy one, this would probably be the one that I would get. I know he's a favorite painter of mine here in Portland. I really like how his style references a lot of older styles of painting, very dreamlike, very otherworldly, very mysterious. That always brings up really unusual narratives in my mind, very imaginative, and always makes me think and look and wonder when I see his work. And I love that warm color palette too.
Yeah, and it just kind of invites you to just look in and just I just see so many different details, and my eyes are going all over the place, and there's just so much that there's to just experience, and it's so it's a great choice, Tammy Jo. Next we have a piece entitled Breakout by Michael T. Hensley.
And this piece too, I think is a really good representation of a contemporary painting style that has been around for a bit, but has really stuck around with incorporating the drawing and the lines and the layers and being very graphic in that way and loose. I really enjoyed this work and all of the details. And it's another one of those pieces you can look at it 10, 20, 30 times and every time see something different.
Absolutely, that looks amazing. All right, everyone, here we go from the Thu Nguyen Art Gallery, Mending by Thu Nguyen.
This one has such a quietness to it. I thought with everything that collectively, globally, we've experienced in the last 2 years, to see this painting of a woman so gently and gracefully alone in her room doing this mending, it just, I don't know, it spoke to me. And I think it'll speak to a lot of other people. And I think that's an important thing when buying and purchasing and owning a work of art, is to get something that you connect with and something that speaks to you.
Absolutely, it just sparks emotion. The first time I saw this and you were describing it to me, and I did see the light coming through the window, but for me it had like a kind of a sadness to it, like a sweet sadness that she's in that dark room just by herself doing her work, in the bright light, what's beyond. I just loved it. I think this one just gave me a couple little shivers again right there. This next piece is entitled Silence of the Furthest Place by Kirk Weller, represented by Lauren Vincent Design and Gallery.
Yeah, so this is a unique painting. So this is an encaustic painting. And encaustic is a process of painting that uses hot melted beeswax and then pigment mixed together. And so it makes these paintings that have this really rich, deep color with lots and lots of layers and lots of transparency, something you really got to experience in person. And sometimes you can even almost smell that beeswax on the painting. So they're very, very unique, very rich paintings. And this is a really great example of one. I really love the reds, warm earth tones, and the blues in this work.
That's fantastic. And now that you've said that, I'm going to do my best to not sniff the artwork, but I'm just going to see if I can absorb some of that. Okay, so next we have a piece that's entitled Sink by Sarah Suzanne Seastream, represented by Elizabeth Leach Gallery.
Yeah, so this is another multifaceted artist. So this painting, she also does printmaking, drawing, sculpture, and indigenous weaving. Sarah Seastream is another great Oregon artist. I really liked the composition and the colors that she used in this piece. I think there's a lot of kind of softness and energy at the same time that really just kind of brings you in. And I see both a landscape. I also see just kind of graphic and textile design. I see all kinds of really interesting things that I feel like could really be a great addition to an art collection or to a home.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for your insight on that piece. Now, What do you think about this piece by Jim Lomanson, is entitled Advice?
I love this photograph. This one, I have a soft spot in my heart for photography, as that was one of my areas. And this piece, I think, is such a great example of photography in the day and age when we're so bombarded with images. A photograph that really holds my attention and captures me and brings me in. Seeing that little sign that said advice, and then the two chairs. I'm like, well, what's happening? And I stopped to think about that and wonder. And then seeing the dragon boat car off in the distance and the beach, it really just drew me in and got my attention, and brought me into that space in a really fun way.
Yeah, it's super captivating, isn't it? And I understand Jim is here with us tonight. So thanks,
Hi,
Jim. What's up? Woo woo. Okay, so here we go. This next piece is untitled, but well, no, it's called Untitled. It is Untitled by Jose Sierra, and it's represented by Eutectic Gallery.
Yeah, so this is a Venezuelan artist, a great ceramicist. I've seen his work around in Oregon for quite some time. These are really unique pieces when you experience them in person. It's a small size piece that you can bring home and display, and they all have this really unique organic shape to them, the way they flow and move and the way the artist crafts them. And then they have these really punchy, sharp, bright, beautiful geometric designs that overlap with the flowing organic shapes. So really, each one's unique and beautiful and precious, and a really great example of his work as well.
Oh my gosh, I love this one. The first time I saw it, and then I noticed how little it was. 5 by 5 by 5 is. I could put it in my handbag at the auction and just take it, but that would be wrong. So I shan't. Okay, and now our final piece with us this evening. The next piece is entitled Laundry Day by Grace Weston.
Yeah, so this is an interesting piece. In person, it is so vibrant and colorful and bright, and it's done through a really interesting photographic process called sublimation. And so it is printed actually on metal, on an aluminum sheet. It's a newer process. So it gives us this really vibrant color and a really glossy finish, very durable process. And this piece, I don't know if you can tell it, it's kind of real, but it's kind of surreal. It's kind of funny and it's kind of serious. And I really love that playfulness of the overlap that the artist was able to create with this piece.
Absolutely. There's some stuff going on there. And I think it's very captivating. It's going to get a lot of attention at the auction on the 9th. I believe so. Well, thank you so much, Tammy Jo, for walking us through your curator's choice. Clearly, you have an amazing eye for what the people would love to see and what is going to bring, emotion and excitement to our event on the 9th. So thank you so much. I know you'll be there.
I'll be there.
I can hardly wait to meet you in person. And thank you just for all that you shared with us tonight. Really fantastic. Yeah. It's nice to get an insight to what these pieces are, because as lay people, I don't know if drag queens are lay people, well, maybe, but in a situation. But anyway, it's nice. We can look at something and go, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. But to have a little bit of insight really just helps. So thank you so much for all of that.
Yeah, I also want to take a moment to thank all the artists that donated their work. As a fellow artist myself, I know how much time and heart and emotion and effort goes into creating our work, and then to donate it for such a great cause, it really means something, because I know all of the effort and heart that went into creating the work. And then thank you to everybody that is going to purchase this work and bring it into their life and their personal spaces and live with it and be around it, while supporting all of the great efforts of CAP and being able to do that and support the community at the same time. Such a great thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all that. Yes. Guess what, everyone? You have been so patient listening to us just go on and on and on. Now we want to hear from you. So I'm going to ask my CAP tech friends, are they able to unmute and ask the questions themselves, or do we drop them in the chat?
Yes, we're gonna let people, screens can be shown now if you'd like.
Oh my goodness gracious, I want to see everyone. So turn on your camera. Let's see who's here to join us. And if you have a question, you can unmute and say howdy to I keep calling you Mary Jo. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm calling you Mary Jo. Tammy Jo, my newest, dearest bestie, and you can call me Ralph. Tammy, I'll allow it.
Okay.
So, So Tammy Jo, thank you so much. If so, anyone that has a question for either of us about what you've seen tonight, the fabulous artwork, the process, the actual art auction itself, let's hear from you. Oh, Eric's asking, as a juror, how many pieces did you have to choose from? We know you got it down to 171, but how many did you see before that?
That's a good question. Do we know? I don't know how many were totally submitted in total.
Yeah, great question. I don't know off the top of my head, but it was.
I think it was over 200.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It was over 200.
That's
It was a lot.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
It is. It's amazing, the contributions, but that's a lot of artwork. So we got to draw the line somewhere just for, the capacity of the event, but all amazing artwork. And we thank everybody that donated.
Sure, I know lots of artist folks in town that they just plan on it all year long. They work on it. They think,
Yeah.
oh, this is something specific that I want to donate, and hopefully we'll get into the show. So thank you so much. And April O'Connor asked, how do you become a juror?
Well, I was invited. I don't know. I guess I just knew the other jurors, and yeah.
Yeah, I can probably answer that question. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jessie Barros Freed. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Chief Development Officer at CAP. I can answer the juror question. Every year, people are invited to participate in the jury, and we try to, as Tammy Jo was talking about earlier, have a nice variety of perspectives. So we usually have a collector on the juror, some gallery owners, different from people from different viewpoints and perspectives. And so we usually try to keep it about 7 or fewer people on the juror. And if you are interested, let us know. We would love to know who is interested in serving on that. We also like to have people who've had experience doing it, and then also having some fresh perspectives and fresh faces on the jury.
It was super fun. I recommend it. You get to see all of the artwork. It's pretty fun.
I love it. Great question. Great question. Hey, anybody else? Feel free to unmute and ask us, or drop it in the chat. Did we get everybody switched over?
I have a question. I've been a juror from time to time for different organizations, and it's really an interesting process. And I'm wondering if this happened when you were jurying and you had 6 total jurors. Sometimes a piece comes in and everybody likes it, and then one person goes, well, I'm not so sure. And then pretty soon, it's kind of like 12 Angry Men, the movie, where the jury kind of shifts and it turns, definitely we hate that piece. And it goes the other way too. People that don't really like something, and then finally somebody says, well, I kind of like this and this and this. And then pretty soon the whole jury shifts. Did that happen while you were looking at work?
I feel like it didn't. I think we all looked at the work, made our selections. I think I was actually trying to be careful to just let my opinions and my reactions be mine, and not worry about whether the person sitting next to me liked it, to let them change my opinion, because each of us would have our own different insights and connection to the work. Everybody is interested in different things, whether you're a collector or a gallerist or an artist, a curator like myself. So I feel like we all kind of had our own unique opinions, and because there was 6 of us, it balanced out. So if somebody really loved it and one person didn't, and there's a couple of people in the middle, then I feel like it balanced out pretty well.
Well, that is not nearly as dramatic as I was hoping the answer was going to be. But
Yeah.
Tammy Jo, one of the things I thought earlier when you mentioned that there were 6, I thought, how could there be an even number? Was there ever close to a tie? And were you going to be the tiebreaker as the curator? Or was I going to receive a call saying you better get down here?
I'm sure there was a few ties, but ultimately we went, we did all of our looking through the work and scoring of the artwork, calculated the numbers, look at the list to kind of see where things fall. And then especially when it got down to making those hard choices, really looking about the body of work as a whole, and making sure there was good representation from different types of artists and different types of work, and thinking about that just to make sure that all the work that really needed to be in the show was there and was evaluated correctly and fairly.
Fantastic. And just a side thing, and this is it's a question, but just from being around so long, I know the artists that they give of their their heart and their soul and their talent, and sometimes a piece is not selected, and I love that so often the artists, instead of taking it back, they can still make it as a donation to CAP, and it's then given to be hung somewhere where CAP is represented in one of its many public spaces, or a partner of CAP, so it's still being represented. I think that's fantastic. When I heard that before, because I come from the drag world. If somebody told me no, I'd take all my gowns and I'd be gone. Okay, but the artists, they're like, no, you can still keep it and make sure it gets enjoyed and viewed and appreciated. So I just wanted to say that the artists over all the decades have all been so generous and kind, and it really just warms the heart, when you see their artwork coming across the stage and in the silent auction, and seeing people bidding on it and elbowing each other out of the way in the silent auction to get those bids, because they want that art in their home. And so the artists really are given a big piece of themselves. So I wanted to appreciate that one more time. Anybody else? People are shy tonight. Maybe you didn't have your wine yet. You need to have some wine. If you have any questions about the process of the bidding that's starting tomorrow morning of 171 pieces online, just check out the gallery and at artauction.org. Oh, is it capartauction.org? And then we'll drop that in the chat again, and you can start bidding tomorrow. You can start window shopping tomorrow if you're not ready to bid, if you just kind of want to see what everything is first. That starts tomorrow, and it goes through the 9th, which is the day of our big event. And on the 9th, we will have all of the fabulous pieces that Tammy Jo just took us through up for bid in the live auction at the Hyatt, the brand new Hyatt Convention Center. So excited to be there. It's going to be a great time. There's still tickets available to the after-hour show, after party, which shows you all of the silent auction in real life that you can still bid on, and have a great time with us. Have a little something to eat, a little drink. And I'm so excited for the fashions, this wonderful theme of art abundance. Let's just see what people are going to wear. Oh, and a dance party too. Stop it. Who's going to dance? I don't know. I'm wearing some sexy ballroom culture boots. I don't know if I could dance. I might just fall down. Some people call it a death drop, but I'm 53. I just fell. I wasn't doing it on purpose. It's going to be a great auction. Jonna Wells is back as our wonderful benefit auctioneer. She always does a beautiful job with the Cascadings Project. I'm thrilled to be by your side. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. Tammy Jo will be there. Jesse, Emily, oh, Dana, my new bestie, Dana. Hey, girl. And the whole gang's going to be there. We're going to have a wonderful time. And if you have any questions, we still have a little bit of time. You feel free to holler or just say thank you to our wonderful artists that are on the call. It's so good to see your faces. Oh, we're having surprise performances too, Jesse says, at the after party and at the auction. Well, it ain't me, because I don't do surprises. So I can hardly wait to see the fabulous people that are coming. Maybe Tammy Jo. Tammy Jo, what do you sing, dance, do you ballroom, do you vote?
No dancing for me, or singing. Not talent, only in the visual arts, not in the performing arts.
Well, it's a fine line between the two, my darling. You know that.
It is.
Oh my gosh. Well, we don't want to keep you. If you don't have any questions, then we are going to bounce. But we'd love to
start bidding soon, right?
Well,
when
first thing in the morning, and you listen, in the morning, we're going to see those bids start coming in. It's going to be so fantastic, so exciting. What a great opportunity to actually get in early. And then remember, tell your friends all over the world, they can participate with our proxy bidding in the actual live auction. And that information is on our website as well. So thanks to the hardworking development team to putting this together at CAP and our house. And thank you, Tammy Jo, once again for being a fantastic curator and wonderful guest on Cappy Hour. Everybody, I'm Poison Waters, and it's been my pleasure. Have a great night. It's Thirsty Thursday. Keep yourself hydrated, and we'll see you 1 week from the day after tomorrow. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye. Cheers. Cheers.